Hello fifth graders, today we're going to go over how to multiply decimals, how to add, how to round, and how to divide. So for the first section we're going to go over is how to multiply decimals, and we're going to be finding the product for number 3 and number 4. So number 3 is that 0.020 times 100 equals blank. So if you look at all of these problems, you'll notice that they're all multiplied by powers of 10s. Powers of 10 include 10, 100, 1000. So you just have to keep adding zeros and that'll be your powers of 10. So if you notice, they're all multiplied to powers of 10s. So I'm going to show you the long way of doing this and the shortcut way when you're multiplying by powers of 10. So I'm going to do the long way for number 3. You know this long way very well, 0.020 times 100. So you're just placing the numbers like this vertically on top of each other, and you're just going to be multiplying 0, 0, 0, 0, and another set of zeros. And then from here we have 0, 2, 0, 0, and then add these, and you will get 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0. Now from here, we have to determine where to place the decimal point in your final answer. And in order to determine that, we're going to look at our first two numbers that we used to multiply with. And so for the first number, we notice that the decimal point from all the way from the right side over here, it was moved 3 times to the left. And over here, the decimal point did not move at all, so it's just 0. If we add these two, we get 3, and we're going to use this to determine where to place a decimal point for your final answer. So we're going to take this decimal point over here and move it 3 times to the left, because 3 plus 0 is 3. 1, 2, 3. So your decimal point should be between these two numbers, 2 and 0. So if you rewrite this, it should be 2.000 or just 2. So now this is the long way. I'm going to show you the shortcut way when you're multiplying. So this only works when you're dealing with multiplying decimals to the powers of 10. So I'm going to show you the shortcut way. So we have 0.020 here. And so if you count the number of zeros in 100, you'll see that we have 2 zeros, which means this is 10 to the second power. So using this power number over here, or the number of zeros, you're going to move that much times to the right of your decimal point. So you're going to take this decimal point and move it 2 times to the right, 1, 2. Your decimal point should be in the middle over here, which is 2.0 or just 2, as we originally got through the long way. So you have to count the number of zeros and move that much number of zeros to the right of the original decimal place to get our new decimal place, and our final answer should be 2, as we did through the long way. So for number 4, I'm going to show you both the long way and the short way to show you it works all the time. Only when you're dealing with powers of 10, of course. So I'm going to do the long way first, quickly. 0.818 times 1000. Now I'm just going to multiply these and another round of zeros. And then 8180, and then I'm going to add these 000818. Now from here, I'm going to determine where to place the decimal place in my final answer. And I see that the first number, 3 times to the left, this 0 times to the left, so that will be 3 again. So I'm going to move the decimal 3 times to the left, 1, 2, 3. So you should get 818, and we're going to double check our answer with our shortcut. So 0.818. So 1000 is 10 to the third power because it has 3 zeros. So with that in mind, I'm going to move the decimal point 3 times to the right, always to the right, never to the left when you're multiplying. 1, 2, 3. So our new decimal place should be there, and that is exactly what we got through the long way. So this always works for shortcut for 10 to the powers. The next section we're going to go over is addition, find a sum. So this is pretty easy. You're just adding them. Ignore this comma, it's not supposed to be here. It's just 951. So the way I like to do this is place the number with the most amount of digits on the top, and then the second amount of digits on the bottom, 969, 149, and then I like to go in descending order. So, and then we have 951 as our next one. Make sure your place values match. and then 81. And now you just have to add these two, add these. So instead of doing it all at once like I did, you can take these two first, and then these two, and then add after you do that. So you can break it up into parts. I just like to do it all at once. Now I have to know 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1, which is 15. And then we have 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8, which is 19. And then we have 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9, which is 13. And then 9 plus 6 plus 1, which is 16. And then 8 plus 1 plus 6. So all this is just very time consuming. Everything is the same. It should be relatively easy, this section. We've learned all of this already, just adding, basically. So your final answer should be 5,656,395. The third section we're going to go over is rounding, and we're going to be rounding to the nearest thousands. So it's important when you're rounding that you know your place values. So we're going to do number 1 and number 4, and I'm going to show you where the thousands place is for both of them. So I'm going to underline it in red, the thousands place. So 2 is our thousands place for number 1, and 3 is our thousands place for number 4. So now over here, I wrote the rules when you're rounding, and I'm going to show you how this works. So we underline the thousands place, so this is our thousands place, and we're going to look at the number right of it, right of your underlined place, so your hundreds place. You're going to look at your hundreds place. So in number 1's case is 0, and now looking at this number, we're going to see if it's greater than or equal to 5 or less than 5. So we know 0 is less than 5. That means we're going to stay the same. Now what we're going to stay the same? We're going to keep the red underlined value the same. So we're going to keep it the same. So I'm going to write it over here. 2 stays the same. If it was greater than or equal to 5, if the yellow circle was greater than or equal to 5, I'm going to round up the underlying value to 3. But in this case, 0 was less than 5, so we're going to keep the 2 the same. And now from here, after we did this step, we're going to turn to 0 the numbers after the underlined red value. So from 2 over here, I'm going to turn the rest of these numbers into 0. 0, 0, 0. And we're going to keep the numbers left of the red underline the same. 6 and 5, we're going to keep it the same. So your final answer should be 652,000 if you rounded it properly. So this rules over here might have been confusing. So we're going to do another problem, number 4. So I underlined the thousands place. Now I'm going to circle the hundreds place, the digit right after it. And now looking at this value, number 3, 3 is less than 5, so we're going to stay the same again. And staying the same would mean the red underline value stays 3. Now, the numbers after the underline value is going to turn to 0, and the numbers left of the underline value will keep the same, so 6 and 0 will stay the same. So this should be 603,000. So that's how you round to nearest thousands. Now the last section we're going to go over is division, and we're going to be finding the quotient for number 2 only. So over here I color coded the components of division, and I'm going to color code throughout this lesson. So our dividend is 294. It's the one that's going to go under this division sign. And our divisor is 60, which means 60 is going to be the one going outside the division sign. So outside is 60, inside is 294. So now I'm going to divide this the normal way. So 60, how much time does 60 go into 294? So this may take a little bit of time to think, but you'll realize 60 goes into 294 4 times because 60 times 4 is 240. If you subtract these two, you will get 54. And so when you're writing your remainders, you have to always make sure your remainder is less than your divisor. In this case, 54 is less than 60, so a remainder of 54 is valid. So that's how you do these problems. Your final answer should be 4, remainder of 54. And that's it for today.